Hello, I am back. Now that we have all the background colors and shit, it's a lot easier to choose and play around with the colors for the character. Just you need the colors to match to set them in the scene. Especially if you're working with a lot of elements. With the skin, very simple. Just work around the yellows and oranges for the most part. Unless it's a dark scene, then you're probably gonna work around violets and reds a lot more. Yup. But with this one, it's obviously got yellow light. So we're going towards the oranges to add some warmth and differentiate the skin color with the yellow light and the yellow wooden planks type ground shit that we're seeing. And if I'm feeling that it's a little too bright, I can just add a little bit more color to it and set them into the scene a lot better. Yard. So this, I'm seeing more around this color here. So we're just gonna warm that up. A little bit more saturation. It's always nice to have a little bit more color. Well, it depends on the scene, but I like the vibrant, kind of lively feel, contrasting. You know, with me being more toned down, low key, and all that. Alright, now for the whites, I'm actually gonna start the base color at around maybe a violet, because I feel like the blue would be a little too cool. Maybe a red. Yeah, it's a little too cool. So I might go with like a reddish. Yeah, something like this. Try the violet, but it's too vibrant. And it just don't work. It just don't work, though. It just don't work, though. So, yeah. Pretty sure this is just, yeah. That's just space. It's good. You want to add negative space too. It helps rest. Helps give rest to the eyes, but also breaks the shapes apart so that there's a better read. If this was not a negative space, this arm wouldn't read as clearly compared to how it is right now. Alright, I'm looking at this zoomed out right now. I'm gonna adjust the skin a little bit more towards the reds, add a little bit more warmth. It's looking a little too yellow. Just like that. Yo. Alright, the blues are gonna add a lot of contrast as well as the fishing rod, so do not worry about this. Do not worry about that. It's looking a little flat again compared to earlier, but that's just part of the process and also character design. And that's the point of the color rough. So now we're gonna add the blues. We wanna warm them up just a tad, because they are pretty vibrant and we want that contrast to stick. Now we add these. And they're all fairly neutral right now, as you can see. But that's where, firstly, that's just the character design. You obviously have to have the neutrals to help other important areas of the design stand out. The saturated parts would be with the hat, the shit around Miyu's hair, and the design of the clothes. Which is what we're going to do right now. Let's work on these first. On these. Okay. We're not doing that. It's what, 20 fucking 24? We're not doing that shit no more, bro. Alright? Chill. Chill. Relax. I hope YouTube allows this. It's just feet. Then again. But then again. Alright, I'll stick with the same layer. Go for the greens. They're a little bit more desaturated. But it still works. Alright, now it's starting to come together, it's starting to come alive. It's just about trusting the process. R. I'll keep this pretty saturated too. Extra. I go with this now, it's too saturated now. Yeah, I think we'll go with this. I know I was preaching about shit being saturated and stuff and more color and shit, but yeah, I don't want it standing out too much compared to these. I'm just trying to see how much the balance is. And the colors too. It's also a factor. Alright, that's too... It's blending in way too much with the background. There we go. I like this. If you're also wondering if, you know, like, am I even thinking about these colors, or if I'm choosing colors way too fast, it's just kind of intuition. And since I've also already set up the background colors and most of the lights that are acting in the scene, it's a lot faster for me to decide the colors. It's kind of like math. I'm just like adding colors, mixing them in my head, thinking about the local color of the subject, and then seeing how it will look if I add this color or light to it. So yeah, a lot of the thinking part comes at the start, and then eventually once you've set everything up, it's a lot faster. The decisions are a lot easier to make. The more saturated something is, you do want to make, well, it depends, but typically if you do saturate something, you do want to make it a little darker, because then it'll be too neon-ish, neon-like. But that depends on your style and aesthetic as well. So, me personally, I just like to do that. I think we got all the flat colors set for Miyu. Oh wait, no, not yet. I'll put this in the same... Ooh. Okay, I'll just add these. This is supposed to be pink, but unfortunately, it's black. It's okay. That sounds wrong. Saying unfortunately it's black sounds so wrong, especially with all the IG reels I've been watching. That's not what I meant. Alright, cool. Next up, fishing rod. I'm adding the flat colors for the fishing rod too. Okay, blue, white, blue, green, light blue. Alright. Obviously we're gonna add the white first. Okay. First I make... Alright, I'm just not even gonna talk anymore. I'm gonna keep incriminating myself. IG Reels have ruined my humor, officially. Alright, bam. Next up, next biggest color we have is this slightly lighter blue. So we're just gonna add that on top of everything. And I'll just assume this will be white. Sounds so wrong. But instead of this same blue color here, which will add the darker blues on top first. Okay, maybe more saturation. And then last but not the least, this. It's pretty saturated, so won't really be affected too much. Can keep most of its color. And then this. And then a grayish red violet for the hook, which is obviously going to be metallic. Alright, now that all the flat colors are done, it's time to add the shadows, which I'll work on next after a short break. Haha. Alright y'all, this is the reason why I gotta take a break. Gotta sweat this shit out. This is extreme, by the way. I still can't do insane. I feel like I can do it, but I just don't feel like sweating, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad I can do the level 70s. It's kind of just my goal with the current total results. Bro, Mika is such a fucking beast. I ain't gonna lie. Absolute unit. Alright, anyway, Shadow Town. Let's see if I can work with just the main shadow and light. If that looks good. And if it doesn't, well, I'll add the second shadow, but hopefully. Hopefully this is enough. And the reason, if you're wondering why I'm like, oh, I hope I don't need to use second shadows, it's just because I don't want to be stuck. You know, it's the color rough, but I refer to it, but that doesn't mean it's the final decision and everything. It's something I'm trying to work on because I'm a very logical person. So I'm like, oh, if this is what has been said, these are like the parameters that I'll work with. And I'm not gonna stray away from that, but that's just not how art works. Especially when I'm working with backgrounds, you add a lot of new ones to it, textures and all that stuff. Like character illustrations and rendering the characters, you can kind of get away with more simple rendering because there's a charm to it. But with the backgrounds, usually, if you keep the backgrounds too simple, they kind of start merging with the characters a little bit. I don't know, it's just tough. It's a hard thing to find a correct flow with or something. Okay, now I'm just trying to figure out the shapes. Okay, I think I can stay with just the main light and shadows. Just gotta make sure the shapes read well. Then I'll worry about the rendering after, you know, it's all said and done. This is essentially the most important part anyways. The main separation of light and shadow. Once you've nailed this part down, everything else is just extra. Basically your artistic touch. It's all on you. You can leave it as is, or you can add some more of your own shebang to it. Your own shenanigans. Just a quick check of the color. Note the movement. So yeah, I like to go skin and hair as the first ones I set. So those are the basically main focus points in the characters, their hair and their face or skin or whatever. I'm thinking, how long? I should still run it with this. Okay, maybe not move too much, but just add a little bit of saturation. Yep. Okay. Add some color to the highlights. It is the highlight anyway, after all. Like that's the light, color of the light that we're seeing. Not the color of the hair. The hair is reflecting the color of the light. So, you know, that's yeah. And the fact is that I can still adjust this later on. I'm just setting the general idea. I'm like, okay, how would yellow light work on this, or how would this color work onto the hair, and see if that works. Generally, if it catches, if it works, cool, but I may still adjust it afterwards when I do the rendering in case another idea. So yeah, since this is a white color, can be a little bit more free while still sticking around the grays. Can be a little bit more free with our hues. Can jump from that to this. But I'm just checking if this will look good or not. And so far, maybe just a tad bit of warmth. Tad bit warmer. And it's good. I'll try this because I want to see if this little bit of extra contrast with the shadow colors, which is still, you know, towards the violets, add some pop. And I think it does. I kind of like it. When you're studying colors as well, especially at the start, you may want to just follow color theory and relationships, but don't be stuck in it. Because normally I would go, okay, why we have this? I'll probably just stick around here, but right now I'm pushing it. I'm pushing the color movement just for added, I don't know, flavor. Same thing here. Obviously we'll pull these other colors along as well. Give them a little extra warmth, or not warmth, violet to their shadow colors. The blue, obviously. Not gonna saturate it too much, but we will darken it quite a bit. But yeah, I think this is really setting me down onto the scene. I haven't even been working on color roughs for a while. I think almost 2 weeks. I haven't touched upon color roughs. I've just been busy rendering and doing line arts and stuff for current projects that are ongoing. So yeah, it's not like a bragging thing. It's not like, oh, I'm not even full. I'm not even in my final form. Not like that. It's not what I mean. I'm just saying it's like this thought process is kind of what I fall back on. Unless I'm experimenting, which I am a little bit. I'm still experimenting a little bit each time. But yeah. Kind of want to saturate the skin shadows a little bit. So we'll select this color and just saturate it. Just a tad, just like that. Yep, alright. See? Adjustments. Oh, this too. Alright, this works. Next up, me. Alright. Bam, working on reverse here. Adding the light afterwards. That's crazy. That is so meta. With the eyes, I don't really think about the light too much. Well, I mean, this isn't going to affect the eye color. That's what I'm trying to say. But there's, at least with my style right now, I go first the shadow, the main shadow here. That sets everything. And then I go with like a super dark area for around the outline of the eye. But I'll add this. So we have this, and then I'll go with like a super dark. This isn't even that dark, but you get the point. Helps with the outline of the eye. And it helps set it with the line art. I'm adding this here because then I'm gonna use it as an outline when I add the whites. I'm gonna add this white part on Mia's eye, so kind of have this outline. And I'll use the same white color as the shirome, as Japanese artists like to call it. So they call it the shirome for the little eye highlights. Yeah. Last but not the least, the fishing rod. I do want to add a shadow here, technically. Yeah. Alright. Cool. I'm thinking about the shadow color for the skin again, just because looking at the eyes, I might darken it a little bit again. I ain't gonna lie. A little darker, a little more color, and I'm satisfied. Yo, alright, quick save. Alright, fishing rod time. Everything else looks good. Oh no, now I feel like darkening the hair. You know what? I'll make those adjustments. Fuck it. Sorry. The perfectionist in me is starting to come out. Especially towards the end, which is kinda... I say that's normal. But the problem here is if I start adjusting everything, if I start adjusting one thing, I'm gonna start wanting to adjust everything. So I need to kind of relax on that. Just because the warmth of the skin and the hair and everything complements each other. Yeah. But this will be fairly simple now anyways. Same what you call it, rules or same logic applies, I guess. Same shit I'll be doing the whole time, just taking into account the base colors, light and ambient colors. Also another thing, I'll probably like add more extra shadows and stuff when I'm working with like a multiple set piece. I need it to be consistent, but with this I can be a little bit more lenient. But yeah, this is my color rough process done. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know. Oh, hold on. You really ain't drawing a blue archive character if you do not remember or if you do not forget the halo. Every time, man. And there we go. Yippee! Alright, okay, for real this time. And so this is my color rough process. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments below. Ask me questions, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.